what fascinates me about chatting with you, Bob, is you're in, you call it the tri-state area. It's probably one of the biggest, busiest car markets in North America for sure, right? And the generalities that you can speak of, and I'm up here in the hinterlands on the east coast of Canada, a small basin of dealers and stuff like that. But the generalities are the exact same. So you're seeing, mud come through the lanes or mud available. It's the exact same thing. It's just like the last 4 years of COVID. People fixed their cars one more time or avoided trading in, and now they are, and those cars are coming to the market. And the generalities are just, we call them generalities, but it's realities really. And I find it just fascinating how it's North America wide. It's the same situation. It's the market, right? And that's why the VIN-dow makes sense, right?
I think so. In other words, because it really isn't anything other than what we've always done, but it's in technology. It's all about creating transparency. Let's say where everybody has a rational conversation enabled by facts. You see what I'm saying to you? This is also when I go to these little things, where everybody's showing everybody the new way to do the old thing, right? And I think about the pedigree of what we built. It really is nothing other than putting it into a little application that guides, regardless of what your circumstances are, wholesale or retail, guides you through a process where you're actually using, specific points of fact to enable rational decision, whether you're pulling a trigger or you're not, whether you're trading for more or you're not, whether your market's better than someone else's, and therefore you are going to push to the next dollar, but you're not doing it in a void. You're doing it being able to see where it's been, how long it was there, how much it sold for last, how many times it's been sold in the past, and therefore understanding the pedigree of what you're actually looking at. And for that reason, I'm saying, because I do look at 1,000 or 2,000 cars a day coming through the system, doing, we're still doing 400,000 appraisals a month. You follow me? So what's that, 10,000 a day or 12,000 a day? So we're looking at plenty of cars. And when you actually see what's coming through and where they're coming through and who's looking at those cars, it kind of gives me the feeling where you don't see a lot of stuff that's coming through that gives you a little woody. It don't happen. You follow me? It's all, like mushed up things. Mud is basically what it is, and that's not a criticism. That's just a statement of what I'm seeing. And it makes it hard to get up and go fishing and hunting, basically hunting cars with a checkbook, has a hook on it where you can snag something. You follow me? Because there's nothing that's getting you, let's call it, wound up a little bit, where you're, like excited when you're, damn, I can't believe we got that. You understand? It's not there. I'm not saying it's not there, but it definitely is not there like you would expect it to be. Porsche Cayennes with 52,000 miles on a 2022. And in silver, finished in silver. What's wrong with silver, Bob? Nothing until you get to the auction block and find out ain't nobody giving a flying shit about that car. That's what's wrong with silver. You follow me? It's like things. They're not things that you could say, holy schmazzoli. I'm going to give you a perfect example of that, Johnny. Last week we had 2 late model S-classes, right? Loaded up, one with 23, one with 22. One with 23 is a white one. You follow me? And let's say, the tool says it's worth 94, MMR is 91, and the car does like close to 100. So it brings 6,000-7,000 more. And I'm scratching my ass. I'm saying, Jesus, peanuts, that's unbelievable. Like, why? And right behind it is a silver one, but with less miles. Same equipment. Believe it or not, came out of the same source. Local new car trade-ins that are good. They're not like been through 12 different other auction attempts, etc. They came off the street. We paid. We bring. We sell. So I'm saying, well, that's good because we own this car for 10,000 less. You see what I'm saying to you? Than what that last one brought. What do you think it brought, Shoney? The difference between a white one, you dig it, and a silver one. Identical equipment cars. Identical cars, actually. White and silver. Take a wild guess. It's $10,000 US
10,000
dollars less. $10,000 less. Now, bear in mind, there's 390 bidders online when both cars are going through. You follow me? In the middle of a Mercedes run. You see what I'm saying to you? One brings 10 G's less. So I went back in and looked, in Head Start, our management system, to see, well, there has to be something else. There's got to be $8,000 in cash in the glove box of this car. Something got to be different. Turns out nothing's different except the color. You follow me? And what that indicates to me is something that's a little muddy. Well, what do you mean muddy? Silver is good. My customers love silver. The only thing I can tell you is you could believe that if you want to, and it's possible. Look at your 90-day units and see how many of them are silver compared to white. That's number one. And number two, get your balls lined up on an auction block and bring a 7 Series through in white, and then bring one in with silver and see what happens. Just see what the difference is together, not a different lane with a different seller and all that bullshit. Together. And I want to tell you one thing that's 1,000% true. Or burgundy. Get a burgundy one to come in right with it, too. I like burgundy. What's wrong with that? It's even got tan interior. Yeah, I know. Put that white one in and see what happens. You see what I'm saying to you, Shawnee? These are like little inferential points that over time, when your balls are on the block and you're not reading AucNet data that has no relationship to understanding where it came from, what it is, and why the difference is, and who was actually bidding on a car, when CarMax stopped 15,000 before the actual car is sold. So CarMax pays all the money and Carvana pays all the money and all the rest of it. I love them. They're great customers and all the rest of it. But when you actually do pay attention on an interdaily basis to thousands of transactions, and you can see when they do quit and what the car actually does bring in the open market, then you get a much better understanding of a lot of different things. What causes cars to bring more or less and so forth like this, right? So I guess
now the fascinating thing.
Yep.
Sorry, Bob. I was just going to say the fascinating thing would be, what if you put you arrange your lanes logically in critical mass order. So what happens when that silver one goes before the white one?
So I hate to say this, right? Because it's kind of like giving trade secrets out. You follow me? But I don't really care. I'm old, and I've actually tried to train a few other people that are pretty successful in the wholesale business, and I think they've come to the same conclusion. Because other people say, well, you micromanage. That don't mean nothing. That's bullshit. Could be. But I'm going to tell you it's not. If you put the silver one up front and that car brings 89.5, do you think the white one could bring 98? Because what you did is you set the market, brother. You follow me? Now the guy really feels like a dumbass if he winds up paying 7, 8, 12,000 more for the identical car. You see what I'm saying? So you have to understand what really is a front line. Sit it on the corner of the lot, right there on the grass. Cut the grass. Put this car out on the corner, and what will stop traffic. I don't care if it's buy here, pay here. I don't care anything, because there isn't anybody in the world, wholesale or retail, that don't buy through their eyeballs. Nobody. You can say, oh, I don't care about that. I paid attention to the data. That's true until you're actually standing there and put those cars next to each other and see which one your customer walks to first. Just watch. You don't have to do nothing. Get the cameras out. Let the cameras do it. See which one the customer walks to first. It's a natural attraction. It goes back to Michelangelo, 611 theory of symmetry. The symmetry of a car that's standing tall, fat wheels in white, and one that's sitting next to it that ain't, right? It's just a natural attraction. Holy Christ, she's a good-looking girl. In other words, it's the same thing. Like, everybody is attracted to certain points. And when it comes to cars, it happens to be what they actually, how they're standing up. You follow me?